Ooh, that was a good clap.
That was a solid clap. I felt that in my bones.
That felt good in my heart.
Nice big old clip line. It's hot.
I'd love to see. I actually do love to see it.
Genuinely love to see it. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, whatever. Okay, cool. Then I'll bring us in like 5 seconds. Hello and welcome to the YASEcast. This is episode number 29, coming at you from the base of YASE. I am Lamo still. With me today, I have the one and only Jarv Dog.
Hey, everybody.
The one and only Morgan.
Once again.
And joining us the first time ever, the one and only SrirachaFlash.
Oh, hello, hi. Thanks for having me on. So happy to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Let me kick off this episode by recalling to the last episode and say that Lamo is absolutely right and Ryu sucks ass. The most boring piece of shit. No! I'm so tired of Ryu. Oh my
Damn.
God. That mayonnaise toast motherfucker. I fucking hate Ryu.
That water with no ice.
That water with no ice. I'm so sick of that fucking character. It would be different if he had any personality besides, I want to get better. Oh, congratulations, fucking Ryu. So do I, you ass.
You all want to get better. You all want to get better, Ryu. Oh, man, we're coming out the gates on this one.
The energy this podcast had straight out the fucking gate. Like, we let Jose out, and he's like,
I love it.
I haven't podcasted in 2 months. I'm ready. I'm ready to fight. I'll fucking fight Ryu.
Oh shit!
Before we started, I was like, feeling kind of tired. I remember like do some stretches and like I got like a little piece of candy to give me some sugar to get through this. He said, no, bam, out the gate. We start going. He starts going. All right, we're in it. I got all the energy I need. Let's do this shit.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me on. All that fun stuff aside about how much Ryu sucks ass. Thank you for having me on. I'm very happy to be here. This has been a lifelong dream of mine ever since last week when I was asked to be on.
I mean, I'm super excited because in a lot of ways, at least I think about it this way. I think, assuming I'm not the only person here, you are basically like the podcast dad of YASEcast, because we were just sitting around talking about it for like the longest time. Like we should have a podcast, and we were like going around beating the bush around for like 2 years on that, and then so you did YASE Week on some random. We're all like, I think we actually could do this, and that was really I think where that we shifted into actually having a product.
You're right.
So like this is like a full circle. You know, it all rhymes together.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, let me say, you guys were absolutely some of the best guests I've ever had on the show. And so thank you, honestly, from me. That made me feel good to have you guys on.
Awesome. Speaking, I know we just started the episode, but I think between you and Hippo, you're like top 2 guests we've ever had.
Yeah, easily.
Well, first of all, I'm happy to make the Mount Rushmore of YASEcast guests. That is incredible.
It's a small mountain.
Yeah.
It's just one mountain that we just keep building more and more faces on. There's a face for every guest that's on the show.
Exactly. It's very funny to me, the polar opposite end of the spectrum guest that you've had on so far. In King Hippo, who is very well-spoken and well thought out, with a point, and he's very intelligent. And then there's me, who is a crazy narcissist and an insane person. But I understand who I am, so I'm ready for this shit. I can't wait.
No. You don't get to say that you are the polar opposite and that Hippo is smart, implying that you are not, because I have seen your Abigail resets, and you are very smart.
Oh, thank you. My smooth lizard brain has managed to make some things happen. Listen, I'm not going to say that I'm not smart, all right? I'm a genius. Like I said, I'm also a narcissist. But I know who I am. I'm not worried about it.
Oh, we're off to a great start. I'm loving this episode, y'all. We're like, what, a minute and a half in?
Yeah,
we've made a minute and a half of this podcast so far.
Absolutely love it. Oh my God. The first thing that popped up when I was thinking Abigail and Smooth Brain, I'm like, what's smoother, Abigail's tires or Abigail's brain? Like, I don't know which one is smoother here.
Well, listen, let me be the first to say that is absolutely Abigail's tires, because Abigail is smart enough to own a shop. My man quit the Mad Gear gang. Props. Shout outs to you, Abigail. He quit the Mad Gear gang, started his own small business, and pulled...
He's doing things.
Listen, he's essentially doing rehab for former Mad Gear gang members, offering them jobs and homes. Not like that piece of shit Ryu who just freeloads and fucking roams the world, a homeless bastard. I'm so sick of Ryu. But no, Abigail, very smart, but his tires very bald. Everyone doesn't know that.
Very bald.
But that's just because thanks to Manscaped razors, use code SrirachaFlash.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No. Save that for your show.
No, it's fine.
We are on the Undies podcast strictly.
You listen. MeUndies works too. Use code SrirachaFlash on MeUndies.com to get one pair of undies for 100% of the price. You get no discount.
Now hold on. I want to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about getting personalized wine selections.
No, John.
Have you heard of this?
SrirachaFlash will show up with Mad Dog 2020 at your house.
I will absolutely show up with Mad Dog at your house. 100%. Let me tell you about...
I just thought about Mad Gear 2020. That's got to be a thing, right? Like, someone's got to just Photoshop a bottle of Mad Dog 2020, put Mad Gear 2020 on there.
Okay, that's true.
Oh my god, that is for me.
That would be very good. But also,
Mad Gear 50-50.
Ooh. Yes.
But you know what's not a 50-50?
Yeah, I just want to thank you all for tuning in to episode 29 of the YASEcast. We peaked. We'll see y'all next week with episode 30.
7 minutes in.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Okay.
Morgan, were you about to say that it's more than a 50-50?
No, I was going to say it's not a 50-50 when you order from Mac Weldon Make. It's 100%. It's a win 100% of the time.
Sorry, I've derailed this show. I'm so sorry.
No, this is the rail.
I'm so sorry.
This is the perfect chaotic energy that I want right now. Oh my gosh. Let's for a quick check note. How Jose, what have you been up to this past week? What have you been watching, playing? What you been doing?
Okay, so for this past week, ever since I got the bat signal to be on, I thought I'm gonna revisit some old horror games. So I've gone through and I checked out Little Misfortune again. Went through that. That's a very, very solid game. Did a little bit of Pony Island again, like just to refresh my memory on that.
Is so good.
Pony Island is excellent. Did a little bit of the Hex. The Hex is actually by Daniel Mullins, the guy that did Pony Island. And that's an insane trip down. I don't know. I feel like when I play that game, I'm going insane. Like I'm the crazy person. But so a little bit of that. A lot of Madden 2020. Because they were just like, hey, what if we infused sports with RPG elements, like skill trees and whatnot? And I was just like, well, I'm addicted to skill trees. All right, so Madden 2020 is like, all right, so let's say you have franchise mode, and you're the Green Bay Packers, like who I pick, right? And so you play the games and whatnot through a season, and there will be little things that pop up that's like, hey, make sure Devontae Adams gets a touchdown on this drive. And you're like, okay, cool. And so Devontae gets a touchdown on that drive because I'm excellent, and I throw an excellent out route with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, of course.
And so then it'll be like, boom, he gets 400 experience now. And I'm like, ooh, number go up. And then and then you just keep doing that. And then after the game, they're like, you did so well. Here is X amount of experience for these players. And because before the game, you did practice mode where you ran like a cover 2 defense. And so because you ran cover 2, you got bonus experience of that and like bonus stats in that for each of your players. And so it awards you experience for that. It awards you experience for doing well with the players. And then you can choose. It'll be like, so here's Devontae Adams. You want to be a deep threat, possession receiver, or excellent route runner. And so you pick one of these 3 skill trees, and then it'll go, boom, all right, you pick deep threat, so now he's better at the long ball. He's better at like jump balls, like up past 30 yards, and so on and so forth. But if you choose possession receiver, he's not so good at the long ball, but he will guarantee to catch a ball, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. which is where, you snap the ball for all you people that don't watch football like an insane person like I do. And so, like, he's just a better at, like, he'll catch the ball, but he's not going anywhere with it. Like, he'll get maybe a couple yards, but that's it. But he's guaranteed to catch the ball. And so there's just 1,000 of these things. And then they were like, just like in real life, once your player hits 30 years old, their skills don't grow as fast anymore. So you can continue to pump time into these players. They won't grow as much. And also, they're like 4 years away from retirement in CTE. So you can, like, choose to like grow a younger player, which is fine. But the younger player, he sucks. He's like a 60 overall compared to your 99 overall that you've been raising. So, like, it's this weird power grab of Pokemon that they've infused into the game. And I'm just like, man, I really hate this game. Like, it's kind of, like, janky and, like, whatever. But the number go up aspect of it just keeps going, like, all right, but what if, like, Aaron Rodgers only has 3 years left on his contract? And, like, once he retires, what am I going to do with Tim Boyle? Like, I got to raise him up. So I'm just like, throw him in the second half so his numbers go up. And then you got to deal with contracts. And the contracts are like, oh, my God. And, like, oh, I'm sorry that I didn't pay you $500,000 for your bonus. Now this asshole wants to go play for Dallas. And then, like, all this time that I put into him, raising him, and now he's fucking off with the Cowboys. And now I got to play against his ass in the playoffs. This is the worst. I hate Madden.
Stressful.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. And this is a game that I don't even really like. Wait till I get to Legend of Dragoon. I know that's coming down the pike.
That's why I told you ahead of time. Like, I'm gonna give you exactly 60 seconds.
But anytime that anytime that I start going, you gotta, like, all right, wrap it up. Like, give me 30 seconds because I'll just keep going. I can't stop.
All right.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to take up all your guys' time. Anyways, how have you guys been? What are you up to, Jarv?
Yeah, Jarv, what have you been up to?
What are you up to?
So, okay, we can't do every week we talk about Hades. So no. I won't do that. But I
actually haven't played a lot of Hades in the past week, so let's save that for next week.
Well, I'm not going to do Hades talk today. I won't do Hades talk today. Because what we should do is once we all beat it, we should just do like a full-on Hades spoiler cast, like Radio did the other day. So I would love to do that. I don't know. Like, I come home from work and I work out with my wife and I eat dinner, I take a shower, and I like just kind of scroll on the internet and go to sleep. But I haven't really been doing a whole lot. But here's something I meant to do. How about that Guilty Gear, yo? We got that plus R, that plus rollbacks, and I just like haven't booted it up yet because they keep extending the beta, and I'm like, oh, I have more time.
And now it's extended indefinitely.
It's extended indefinitely.
You're like, never going to load it up.
I'm never going to boot it up now. I mean, I should. What I'm here to say is that if there's something that you want to do in your life, even though it seems cheesy, schedule it out. Like, write it down. Like, Thursday night, I'm going to hit P mode for an hour, and that's what here's my block of time. I'm going to dedicate my time to it, because if I don't write it down, I usually just find some other thing to get distracted by. ADHD will do that, but just, like, in general, everyone's got busy lives and, like, a societal COVID fog that kind of has just, like, set in after X amount of months in this. So yeah, I think I've been also just been playing so much Hades that, like, there's other games, like, on my backlog that are like, Jarv, remember when you were playing Nier Automata? And I'm like, hold on, I got this sick new sword run, and I unlocked aspects, man. And 2B's like, but you didn't even finish Route A. You didn't even get ending A, man.
What?
You didn't even, like, play this game.
Oh, man. Oof. Yeah, you should do that, but that hits me especially hard as someone who was playing Nier Automata and then stopped to play something else at some point.
And somebody give me some homework or something. Like, should Nier Automata be my homework? Like, I gotta have played like a couple hours the next time I'm on.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
fair.
Finish Route A.
All right.
I feel like you're asking us to give you this homework.
Please,
so yes,
I am actually. Please.
Either if you haven't finished Hades yet. Although it sounds like Lemo will take a while. Finish Hades. If not, try to finish the A route. Although
close.
like A route and B route are kind of like it's not until like the C route.
That's what I've heard.
This is one of my. That's when it became probably my favorite game of the year.
I mean, the combat's pretty fun, so like I'm happy to play it. And I had this quest line where I was trying to help this little this little robot girl tried to get back home to her mom, and I accidentally let her die, and the robot mom was real sad, and then I was real sad, and then I turned off the game.
Okay, maybe don't finish A-Rock.
Yeah, maybe don't. Yeah, you're good. Homework's been canceled.
Class dismissed. You don't get to play Automata anymore, Jarv.
It's all good. Morgan, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, like Jarv said, indefinite rollback beta has it's basically what I play now. Sole bad guy and has a move in plus R. It's called Sidewinder. It is flooding my brain with dopamine and breaking through the societal malaise brought on by COVID. Every time I get that big clean hit, I just for one brief moment, it's like the sun shines through the clouds. Beyond that, I actually revisited a film that I haven't watched in a very long time that my girlfriend happened to get at like $1.50. And so maybe some of you have seen it or heard of it. It's called Goodbye Lenin. It is it's a German language film starring Daniel Brühl, who you may know as Baron Zemo from, was it Civil War? The film.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's also there are 2 films that he's been in. I love him as an actor. Before that, Goodbye Lenin and The Educators are probably my 2 favorites. But Goodbye Lenin, its premise is situated right at the fall of the Berlin Wall. His mother, his sister, and himself live in East Germany. His mother has a heart attack, and the doctors are like, you can't, and she goes in a coma, during which time the wall falls. But they're like, she can't have another shock. She might die if she has any excitement or shock. So he hatches this plan where he basically has to recreate the DDR in this elaborate scheme so that his mother doesn't find out that the wall has fallen.
Oh my god.
It's an extremely good film. So highly, highly recommend. Definitely one of my favorites. And if you like Daniel Brühl, like I do, you should also watch The Educators, which is a film about anarchists that break into rich people's houses and rearrange the furniture and leave a note that says, Sie haben zu viel Geld, or you have too much money.
Wow.
So,
what was the name of the second one?
The Educators, but it's spelled with a K. If you look at Daniel Brühl, you can see it's a 2004 film.
Okay.
I watched it back in undergrad, and it was recommended by my German professor. That's also been a thing I've been trying to do, is get back into German.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because everyone in the preceding generation of my family is fluent, and most of my cousins are, and I am not because my parents were teaching me, but I spoke English back to them, so they gave up when I was younger.
Oh, no.
So
that sounds like my family in Spanish with me. Except for they just hit me a whole bunch until I started speaking Spanish a little bit, and then I just stopped because I think they beat it out of me. But yeah, close enough. Same thing.
Basically, it's left me in a really weird spot because obviously what my parents never figured out was that if I was responding to them in English, it meant that I understood what they were saying in German. So I can understand a lot of German, but I, for the life of me, cannot speak it because turns out understanding a language and producing a language are very different skills.
Yes, that's the same here. Jokes aside, I can speak to my Mexican grandparents who speak very, very fluent Spanish. For the most part, very fluent Spanish and very broken English. But when they're speaking Spanish, I'm 100%, I know exactly what's going on. And then they're like, now speak it back. And I'm like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, we would get calls from family in Germany, and they would be like, I knew what they were saying. It was like, is your mother home? And I'm like, I don't speak German. I know what you're telling me, but I can't respond.
Yes.
Is deine Mutter is out the house? And it's like no. Yes, but no. Anyway, that's basically where I'm at.
Right on. I actually haven't had as far as what I've been doing this past week, I have not been doing much. I've been sick as a dog since Thursday.
Oh no.
Feeling a lot better now. Still not 100%, as you might be able to tell in my voice, but doing a lot better. So that aside, I've been trying to catch up on some things that not playing as much, but I'm doing a bit more watching. So I think that my girlfriend and I have caught up to pretty much the current season of a Great British Baking Show. Now it's actually officially Baking Show. It's no longer Great British Bake Off. It's actually, they finally made it to Baking Show now.
Yes.
Don't like that.
But here's the thing that's actually really cool, because this season, I believe, was filmed this year. And so what they did, because usually it's 12 contestants plus the 2 judges plus the 2 comic relief people, so you're looking at 16 people, not counting cast. What they've all agreed to do for this season of shooting was, hey, you're going to live in like this little village that we set up for the people who are working on the show and competing on the show, and we're going to do a quarantine. It's essentially we're going to cut you off from the outside world. That way, we don't have to worry about any kind of COVID risks. And so it really changes things, because now you know that, one, all the people that are on here, there's always been like a good rapport between most of them. You can tell like there's joking around and there's friendships that develop. But in this case, like, you know that they're all kind of living together, and you can kind of see a little bit of how maybe that affects how or when they're able to practice in their things. But you see a lot of ties too to their family of, hey, I haven't been able to see my family in however many weeks while I'm here doing this. And you hear a little bit of like snippets and side conversations about that. In the most recent episode that we watched, there was someone who was talking about how it's like, oh, it's like so-and-so's, like, one of her favorite people are her grandparents, but it's like she hasn't been able to like really see them in the past 6 months. So there's like a shot of her like outside of like her grandparents' like apartment building or whatever, and she's like waving and talking to them from the ground floor and stuff like that. And you're just like, I feel like in most shows that I've watched or most things that I've really seen don't really, when they talk about living with COVID, it doesn't seem to take on a very positive note. It takes on a very, and this isn't even necessarily positive here, but it tends to take on a very sad undertone and just very kind of depressing. This is very much like, hey, we're still living. We're doing the things we're supposed to be doing. We're being responsible about it, but we're still living and we're still trying to make things work. And that, I don't know, there was just something refreshing about that. And that kind of goes hand in hand with, I'm sure I brought it up before on the show, but kind of what I called like the kindness of Great British Bake Off, which was everyone's very supportive, and you can tell there's a lot of competition shows, whether it's baking or whatever the hell, it's going to be very toxic, and that seems to be the exact opposite of what this show has always been, which is why it has been such an absolute delight to watch throughout quarantine. I'm starting to go a little bit off the rails with what I'm talking about here with the show.
No.
But
you got, this is the vibe we need.
But yeah, it's so comforting. If there's anyone out there who hasn't watched the show and is looking for something just to kind of help de-stress and relax, highly recommend it. It's downright therapeutic. Everyone is so kind and genuine on it that it's become a much needed dose of just good in the world after following the news and everything else.
As a fellow lover of the Great British Bake Off, I will say Noel Fielding, absolute fashion icon.
Yes.
Love him very much.
Yes.
And for anyone that doesn't know, there's an Instagram account called Noel Fielding's Wardrobe, and they post every single shirt and blouse that he wears, and you can find them online. And I've been following them for weeks now, trying to find like sweaters that he has, and I'm like, I could rock that, except for I don't have like that same energy he has, where like I'm like sleek and like kind of pervy in a 70s rock band way, but like I can't pull that off. But man, I don't know. Noel Fielding is great. I love the Great British Bake Off.
I just
wonderful.
followed it. You probably can't tell me,
yes,
but I definitely just followed it.
Yes. Oh my god, it's the best.
So I've heard a lot about this show. How does it compare to like American baking, like Food Network stuff? That's like really my only, I guess, favorite reference for when it comes to food competition shows. You said it's like a lot more wholesome?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever watched the British version of Kitchen Nightmares?
Yeah. Gordon's like generally like a lot more supportive and not like it's fucking raw, blah blah blah.
And so that I feel like is like the perfect comparison, and not necessarily for you can compare this to Great British Bake Off, but the mentality and the ideas that are behind kind of British baking shows, or at least these two in particular. There's a lot of those common themes. It's a lot more about being supportive, and it's a lot less about like drama and what's happening and things like, and high intensity cuts in like musical stings and shit like that. But it's a much more it's a much calmer experience.
Then it's kind of educational too. Like you learn a lot about baking through the show, instead of them being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they didn't do this. Now they're gonna fuck up and their family's gonna hate them." They're like, "Well, they made this mistake and this is why, and here's what they can do in the future to like improve this. And if you do this at home, try doing this instead." And it's like, "Oh, this is like pleasant and nice." And then you get to see some people who are just like, "I'm gonna go out of my way to do this extravagant thing," and they're like, "This tastes very bad, but we're proud that you tried something." And we're like, "Yay!" Like, even when they mess up, they're just like, well, "You tried, bucko." And so, like, it still feels good.
Well, maybe not Paul. Paul isn't necessarily always that way. Paul kind of has to be a little bit of the hard-ass judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this that Paul Hollywood I've heard about?
Yeah, Paul Hollywood. He kind of sucks.
He does. Actually, I haven't watched it since they left BBC because of Paul Hollywood. Like, he pulled that whole stunt where, like, basically built up the show on BBC, which is a publicly funded platform.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, "Oh, we're going to take it to Netflix now." So it's like, yeah, you built up this brand using public money and then tried to, once it got big enough, sell it to private networks.
I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this happened.
It's actually why I stopped watching for a little bit when that happened too. So I stopped watching when that happened, and only just now in the past couple months, I would say, going back to the show. And
gotcha.
Let me tell you, it does kind of suck for being like, "Oh, I really loved Mel and Sue and Mary Berry," because they're not on the show anymore. And
they all left because they didn't agree with leaving BBC.
Wow.
But I really do enjoy Noel Prue and oh my god, I can't remember her name. Fuck.
Look, I'm not going to judge you, but you are a class traitor.
Yeah. I will be I will be the first one up against the wall. I understand.
Whoa.
I'll be side by side with you, Lamo. Don't you worry. We'll hold hands
with our bakes in our hands.
Absolutely. We'll share our last French cigarette together before they fire at us.
It was a bad bake, Mary.
It was a bad bake.
Oh my god.
Oh, this biscuit is dry. I can't.
Oh, it's such a good show. So John, to explain it a little bit too, there's every week is a theme, and it's okay. You start out, and the first thing you do is there's a signature, which is whether it's like you're making a certain type of cookie, whatever it is that they've kind of prescribed for that week. Is that the right word? Probably not. Whatever thing essentially that you're assigned.
I need someone to prescribe me a cookie for the week.
That's what I'm talking about.
Snickerdoodles. Eat a snickerdoodle, you ass.
Yes, I need a snickerdoodle. Love a snickerdoodle.
Love a good snickerdoodle. So yeah, they each have their own, like, everyone's assigned to make like their version of this cookie or whatever for this week. Okay, cool. They all make it. There's judging. The second thing they go through is a technical challenge. Is okay, you're going to make this thing. We are giving you incredibly vague directions on how to make it. And like, we're not even going to give you, they don't give them like the proper measurements or anything either. It's like, they really have to figure everything out using their own like skill set, which is super interesting and super stressful. And then the last thing they do for that week of the competition is a showstopper. It's their big piece that revolves around that theme, and it's really cool. I really like it. It's a good show.
All right, for all the wholesomeness of the show, you left out a very vital part of the technical challenge, and that is when they do the technical challenge, the judges aren't in the room, and so they have to go up and put their pieces behind a picture of themselves that the judges can't see. So while the judges then come out after everyone puts their things up, and they're tasting and looking at these baked goods that they don't know who made them. So the bakers are just sitting there squirming like the whole time. It's so gut-wrenching to see them be like, "Oh, that's mine," and they're tearing it apart because they don't know who it belongs to. So like this very nice like older lady who's just like, "Oh, I've done, so happy to be here." And they're like, "We love her so much." And then she messed up some biscuits, and they're like, "This sponge is fucking disgusting." And they're like, "Oh my god!"
It's
not
quite that extreme.
No, it is. Oh my god! They're like, "Whoever made this should be taken up behind the tent and shot." And then this old lady just had a heart attack. Oh, it's terrible.
I don't remember that episode.
Yeah, see,
But
maybe
it sounds.
see,
Maybe
Morgan's
those
got my
are the early
back.
ones.
Not that class traitor lamo. Oh my god.
No, it's a really good show. It's really unfortunate with that bit. Like I fell off kind of like for the same reasons. I was just like, maybe I'll get back on it. I don't know. I think that it is an energy I need, and that's a really interesting dynamic that they had them all live together, and how that was because it's like it's going week to week. So you get little clips where it's like, oh, I worked on this, and then they kind of get some knowledge of what they have to bake, and so they go home for the week and they're prepping and they're doing their bakes and they come back for the weekend to record. So having that in a village sounds comfy, but also extremely stressful.
Yeah. The fact that you're always surrounded by the people that you are competing against. And then, like, it sucks because the person who lost in the first week, they went through and they quarantined for this thing, and they've been living away from their family to go home on the first week. That sucks.
Oh, that sucks.
It ain't great.
No thanks.
And like,
Dang.
so it's this season is going on right now. They're on like a new episode comes out every week sort of schedule. I think they're kind of getting towards the last quarter of the season. I need to actually double check. But it's getting there. I'm real interested in it. I'm real invested in it.
Man,
But okay.
Quick,
Oh, go for it.
real quick. When it's a streaming service and you know they have all the episodes, I really hate when they do the one episode thing at a time. I'm not getting Disney Plus again until I can binge The Mandalorian season 2 in one fell swoop on a weekend. This whole like they have the 8 episodes already made, but they're trying to piecemeal it out to me over 2 months. No, I ain't gonna do it.
I mean, I can at least understand with something like this where it's like, hey, they film once a week for it. Like it is like a thing where like usually they would like record on like the weekends for one challenge or whatever. And then during the week they're working on the recipes and shit like that. But yeah, I totally get that. For something like that, it's like, come on.
Yeah, for like a serialized show. I guess I didn't realize that they were actually recording over the weeks and putting them out for Great British Baking Show. So
Yeah.
don't mind me.
Look,
like,
that's totally fine.
They
Go ahead,
did that with Terrace House too when I was watching that a lot, where it was like, okay, Japan would be like 12 episodes ahead of the US, and then it's like, okay, and now here's another 8 episodes for America, and it's like, come on, it's like just do this shit weekly. And the worst part is that people, if you lived in Japan and logged into Netflix that way, used a VPN, they already had English subtitles for the Japanese episodes when they came
What
out.
the shit?
Yeah, there was no reason not to just put them out like at the same time.
I think they've done that with like anime too. Like they just like cut a 24 episode season into like 2 12-part mini seasons, and there's like, yeah, you get one half of this show for 8 months. We'll see you in August.
It's fuck.
Wow.
It's dumb. I don't like it. Anyway, let's move on real quick though. We did get a couple questions in from Twitter.
Yeah.
We got 2 in from Rockdan for you.
Friend of the pod, Rockdan.
Friend of the
Yeah,
pod,
shout out to
Rockdan.
Rockdan. Friend of
We should get
the
Rockdan
some
on
random
here.
pod, Rockdan. Rockdan's the
Oh,
best.
Rockdan International.
We love Rockdan.
Love a good Rockdan.
Love a
Oh.
Rockdan.
Oh, Stony Daniel.
I have had a special experience with Rock Dan. Rock Dan, and I think I
Band Dan.
mentioned it before, is the first person whose bursa ever deliberately grabbed in Guilty Gear.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
Get
Yeah.
fucked, Dan.
never forget it. I was like, he keeps bursting at the same spot. I'm just gonna do it,
I'm gonna
and I
do it.
did it, and it felt like time stopped, and I looked over at him, and I knew. He was
Damn.
like, "Oh, come on."
Oh, brutal. Absolutely brutal. But
So I always think about it every time we talk. I genuinely love Rock Dan, but I always just remember that one moment of seeing Faust start his burst animation and then it stopped.
going. Grabbing that shit. Anyway, good friend of the show, Rockdan asks, because this is actually something I hadn't really considered, but could you talk about finding time for games and hobbies with kids and family, and then sharing these hobbies with your kids as they get older, then joining in on them, which is something I hadn't even considered. I mean, none of us here on the YASEcast, aside from you, have kids, and like that's something I haven't even really considered. So I'm definitely interested to kind of get your take on that and your perspective on that.
Well, first of all, you never sleep ever. All your sleep time is gone.
Oh, no.
Fucking throw that shit out the window. Yeah, you think you hold on to your precious sleep. Not really. You know what? I'm not even gonna play up that joke. That joke sucks. I fucking hate sleeping. Like before I get to like the actual meat of the question, sleeping fucking sucks. If I could take a pill that was just like you're guaranteed to feel like you had 8 hours of sleep and your body's gonna be fine, I would do that shit. I fucking hate sleeping. That being said, so a big part of it is today I didn't do a great job. I'm going to be very honest. I didn't do a great job of partitioning my life, my hobbies, and my kids. But on a general day, what you do is you make sure to make time. Recently, Opal got Happy Feet for the PS2, and she would bug the shit out of me to play it, and I'm just like, all right, let's do it. Like, sometimes you got to throw yourself in. Like, you have to abandon the stuff that you want to do. A lot of like being a parent is like throwing away your selfish tendencies, which is something that I still struggle with. Because I'm just like, I want to do this thing, but like you have to get over that shit, man. Like, throw that out the window. All your ego has to be gone when you're raising kids. So like, yeah, you make time. You set other things aside. You always make sure that your kids come first. Like, if they want to do XYZ in your hobby that they see you do, you set that time aside immediately. Don't put it off. That's another thing that I struggle with. It's like putting stuff off, and I'm like, oh, we can do this later. We can like just hold on a little bit and then we'll do this. And now Opal's caught on to my cues when she's like, when Dad says we're gonna do this later, that means he's gonna forget, and she gets mad. Which I understand, like I get. And as I'm like getting older, I realize I got that from my dad, who like, cause my dad fucking sucks. Like, it is what it is. Like, he's just not a good dad. Which I don't blame him. You know, that's just who he is. But I learned that from him. Like, oh, we'll do this later. Like, we'll tackle that later. And then like it never came. And so I'm working on that now, just being like, yeah, like let's just do this. Like, you want to play Happy Feet? Let's fucking play Happy Feet. Or like when I'm playing Street Fighter and she's like, I want to play it. I'm like, all right, I'm in the middle of a ranked match. Like, I can't hand you like my fight stick right now. But we can go to practice mode immediately after this, and you can.
Opal's like, I can take him. Put me in.
She's like, Coach. She's like, Dad, I got this. He wake up jabs every time. Like, I got this. Like, I'll fuck him up. Her meetings are on point. I'm telling you. But like, yeah, you just gotta like immediately make time. Like, boom. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a ranked grind or what the fuck you're doing. Just set that stuff aside, and immediately like give your attention to them. Like, that's the biggest thing, and it's something that I still struggle with. But I'm working on it. And I think I'm doing a good job. But like today, I took a nap like right before this show. I had to get rested up because like I was up late last night because I was watching TV shows with Evelyn because I'm stubborn and I'm like, well, I didn't do enough me time things today. So when Evelyn goes to work, who's my wife, she's wonderful. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play video games. And then I played video games till like 1 a.m. And then she got home and I was like, well, now it's wife time. And so like for like half hour, 45 minutes, I was like, hey honey, what's up? And then we went to bed. And then I woke up at 5 a.m. for work. And then like, you're just like, now back through the day. Like, you just abandon sleep sometimes. Like, that's how you have to do your things.
The time management sounds so incredibly, I mean, not only incredibly hard, but like it's important, and I respect what you're saying a lot too about like, hey, if I'm doing something and one of my kids is like, hey, you know, let's play this or let's do this, it's okay, cool, I'm dropping what I'm doing. If I can drop it, I'm dropping it, and let's hang out, you know, let's do what you want to do. Because spending that time, I mean, that's beyond important.
For sure. Now, I do want to say there are some caveats to that. If your kid is like, Dad, I just saw this woman on YouTube Kids slice up some like little slime guys and they made a big mess, I want to do that. It's okay for you to go, no, you little shit, because you're not going to clean it up. You can tell them no. Yeah, exactly.
Keep to YouTube for that one.
Exactly. Like sometimes like I'm bad. I'm just like, sure, absolutely. Like, you can watch these videos like while you're chilling with me. And then she's just like, this is great. I want all these toys. No, you don't even play with the toys you have, you little shit. But I would never say that to her, like, ever. I'd just be like, no, it's okay. You don't need those. Or like, you don't play with the ones you have. Like, no big deal. I'm not going to call her a little shit. To you guys, I will, because she can't hammer right now because she's in bed. And that's what you do as a parent. When you when your kids aren't around, you talk shit behind their back, and then you hope that they don't listen from around the corner. And
or on their podcast listening device.
Exactly.
My child, the podcaster.
My Lance. I don't know if I could do that. That's my 18-year-old is home from college right now. And I'm sure that he is in the other room just say something, motherfucker. Say something. I dare you. Come on, I'll ruin this fucking show right now. But I won't, Ben, so eat it. He'll be fine. Anyways, but yeah, the biggest thing with balancing teaching your kids your hobbies and doing the things that you want to do and being a parent is really learning to separate self from responsibility. Or your self-centered needs or your self-centered wants, not needs, because your self-centered needs are important things, but your wants from your responsibilities. You're not going to get your way all the time. Sorry, it just is. It is what it is. You decided to have kids. You make time for those fucking kids, and if you've got time at night to dedicate to the stuff you want to do, then you can have fun. But until they go to sleep, it's all their time.
Word. That's why I got to get him to bed early. No.
Yeah.
I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I respect that
Same.
so much. There's nothing. That's all I can say. Just you sound like a really good dad. I don't know. That feels weird to say, but
Well, thank
But
you.
no, I was leaning in the same direction too, because just I'm damn, my dad did not usually go out of his way to make time for me, so I'm fuck, that would have ruled. So no, you've absolutely earned your spot in the good dad club.
Lamo, I'll be your dad. Sure. Don't worry.
Hell yeah,
Sriracha Dad.
Listen, Sriracha Dad will always be here. I just want to throw out. I just got a text from my son, all caps, by the way. I didn't even hear anything until you called me out for allegedly wanting to call you out. What the hell?
Oh man!
Tuesday.
Oh fuck! I laughed so hard that a Gundam head fell off the top of my TV.
No, RX-78-2.
Hold on, this fell in my water. His little,
Oh my god. This little V.
his little me. We
Oh.
get the water off there. All right, there we go. We good again.
How about that?
My desk's so damn shaky. God.
I mean, I'm using a TV table for my desk right now, so I feel you. I understand.
So there was a second part to Rock Dance question.
Oh boy.
This is the real meat of the podcast.
I was gonna say, I think this is probably gonna be. This may take up the rest of our time on the podcast.
All right. So a little peek behind the curtain. Lamo said, "I get 60 seconds." He fucking made me swear.
I was gonna to schmooze us into this one.
All right.
Rockdan asks, I mean, a very, very short question. Just why Legend of Dragoon? And I want to bring this up for those who aren't aware. Legend of Dragoon was a PlayStation 1 RPG made by SquareSoft before Square Enix was ever a merged company there. It kind of blew things up in the era that it came out, and it kind of completely took some steam away from a lot of the Final Fantasy stuff at the time. It had a totally unique, instead of the usual you just select to attack an enemy or whatever in an RPG. It's okay, well, I selected attack, and then there's actually it's kind of like a fighting game as far as links go, because you actually have to do the attack they're doing, but everything is all incredibly timed, so you really are pressing X to do links on a combo on an enemy in the game. Every once in a while they'll go for a counterattack, so instead of pressing X you press circle instead, but it's still it's very timed out to the beat, and each character has their own different combos you can choose from that have different stats attached to it. Some do more damage, but you'll get more dragon meter or whatever and shit like that. And then every character also has their own different rhythms and speeds and shit like that too for their different editions or their combos.
It's the fucking best. I feel like Sanford Kelly now. It's the fucking best. All right, hold on. Stop. All right, Lamo, I gotta stop you. I love you so much.
Stop me.
All right, hold on. First of all, it's not made by SquareSoft. It was made by Sony Computer Entertainment. It was an in-house game by
close
Sony
enough.
Computer Entertainment. Not close enough. It's very different. That's like saying Konami made Street Fighter. It's very different. And then
Yeah, they
They would have made Ryu better. That's for damn sure.
you're goddamn right. Yeah, listen. If Konami made Ryu, it'd be fucking 1,000% better. He'd be throwing crosses. He'd probably be a crusader. I'd have a real reason to hate him besides being fucking mayonnaise. At least then Ryu would be nice and racist, so I could hate him for a real reason. Thanks, Konami. Anyways, so the combos are called additions, and the additions, it's that, like, I get it. It is a fighting game, a lot like a fighting game, in the fact that we all like mashing buttons, except for I think it's more like a rhythm game because that shit comes.
It's a rhythm game.
I mean, like fighting games are a rhythm game.
Fighting games are rhythm games with high stakes consequences. That's I agree. But yeah, so they're called additions, and you press the X button like in rhythm to do an attack, and it is the fucking best. It's so cool. And then you're like, I got this rhythm down. This is super cool. And then they're like, hey, you got another addition. Like, now you have different ones. And every character has a different number of them. Not only do they have different combos, they have different numbers altogether. So Kongol only has 4 additions total in the entire game.
Kongol's slow ass motherfucker.
All right, hold on. This is why you're playing the game wrong. But I'll get there. So like
I'm
this
not hating on Kongo. I'm just saying he's a slow ass motherfucker.
That's why you give him the bandit shoes and the.
I know, give him the boots.
Yeah, you give him the bandit's items. He's so fucking fast. Oh my god, he makes Maru look like a slow pain. All right, sorry, I don't mean to talk shit about Maru. I'm like clicking too many things on my computer right now. I'm so excited. Okay.
He's
Anyway,
got notes. He's pulling up the notes.
I've got things. So recently, very dear friend of YASE, member of YASE, Jay has said that he didn't care much for Legend of Dragoon, which I understand because it's a lot like I feel. You know how some people are born with the gene that makes them feel like cilantro tastes like soap, so they don't enjoy cilantro? Unfortunately, Jay is that like 1% of people who can't enjoy pure art in Legend of Dragoon, and that's what it is. It's not his fault. It's just genetic. Jay got the experience of like Euro house music. He doesn't get to experience Legend of Dragoon. That's a trade-off for him, and I understand. It's not his fault. I'm not going to blame him for not liking the game. It's not his fault. It's just the way he was born, and that's okay.
I was just going to say, if you didn't play the game growing up, then you're probably not going to like the game. Like that's the farthest I was going to go with it. But damn,
no, it's fine. Jay just has a genetic defect, and that he can't like the game, which is okay. It's fine. It's just the way he is. But the game is perfect. It's so good. Oh my god! You start up. All right, so you're on the planet of Endinez. Actually, it's the continent.
Hold on.
So you're
hold on. We're not going to go through an entire plot summary of Legend of Dragoon.
No. All right,
your 60 seconds are up.
All right. It's the fucking best. It's the greatest game of all time. And then you're like, oh man, I only have 32 item slots, and everyone's like, that fucking sucks. Why do you only get 32 item slots in the game? And you're like, and I used to be one of those haters, so I'd be like, oh man, that's so stupid. I didn't get that. But it makes you optimize. Hey, you don't get to hoard a bunch of magical items and healing items, you asshole. You gotta learn to play the fucking game. And guess what? There's permanent items that will never go away. You can sell them, but they're important. They make stats go down. They make stats go up. And you can use them an infinite amount of times, like one time per battle, mind you. I think I just shook my microphone too hard. I'm so...
Okay.
Passionate
hold on.
over Legend of Dragoon.
We're going to take a deep breath over Legend of Dragoon real quick. Because I have to ask you... I have to ask you a question about Legend of Dragoon.
Okay.
If... Let's say life is good, and we're getting a Legend of Dragoon remake.
Oh my god.
Aside from something simple... Like, Jarv had a look of disgust on his face for a second, it looks like, at the idea of Legend of Dragoon remake.
I was looking at an Android 16 combo, I'm sorry.
Okay. Also, makes a lot more sense.
Look, I get it. I would zone out too. I'm listening to me talk about this shit.
Aside from stuff just like, hey, the graphics obviously look a lot better, what are 3 improvements or changes that you'd really like to see to the game?
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I guess to answer that, you would have to say, what changes would you make to the Sistine Chapel? It's perfect in every way. You could expand upon the Sistine Chapel, but it might deform it. But like, what would you do to the statue of David? His perfect form? Maybe
bigger dick.
But see, there you go. All right, so therefore, bigger combos. So in the sequel for Legend of Dragoon, we get bigger combos.
No, that's not what I want in that game.
Yes,
no.
yes, bigger combos. We get bigger combos. Don't worry. There's an item called the Ultimate War God, and you can buy it for 10,000 gold, and it does the combos for you, and it counts towards the level up. Incredible. But if you're a piece of shit who doesn't like to grind money, they have something called like the War God Amulet, and that is half the price. But when you equip it, it does the combo for you, only does half the damage, and doesn't count towards the meter. It's awesome. Anyways, so I would like to see longer combos and combos that hit multiple enemies. So, like, if you can keep the addition string up to a certain point, you can do, like, a multi-hit one, because in the game, all additions are single enemy only. So, if I could get something that would be, like, a 3-enemy attack, that would be really cool. Also, I would like to see fusion Dragoons. I want to see multiple element Dragoons. I want to see, like, a water and dark one. Shout out to 13-year-old Jose who drew these in his notebook back in the day.
Of course.
Oh, hell yeah.
Of course he did. Yeah, I want to see fusion Dragoons. And most importantly, I want to see how the story of these characters continues through their kids. Yeah. Oh, hey, we gotta take a quick break, guys. I'm really sorry. I'll be right back.
No, it's all good.
Oh, hey, guys, I'm back.
Oh, okay,
Ready.
cool.
Sorry, something banged on the side of our house.
Oh, shit.
But, like, my driveway is at least 50 yards off the road. And Evelyn was in the bathroom, and she's like, something just bangs on the side of the house. I went around outside, I can't find anything. But I thought it was Opal kicking the walls. So, either I have a really angry poltergeist who doesn't like Legend of Dragoon, or someone banged on our house, and I don't know who the fuck it was. Anyways, yeah.
I hope it's the poltergeist.
I wouldn't be upset if it was a poltergeist. I would understand.
I mean, the poltergeist has bad opinions, personally, but like,
you get it.
yeah,
God damn it, Morgan.
No, I love this.
I
game.
knew.
I
liked
love
you.
this game. Like, I just like him like go off, King, Rose Storm.
It's the fucking best.
Like,
I will say,
you said additions, and I heard Dart's voice kept going double slash.
Double slash.
Oh yeah,
Volcano.
Yeah.
So the most recent run that I did, for anyone that doesn't know, I play this game annually, once a year. I play through Legend of Dragoon because it's the best. And so this year's run, I did only the level 1 additions for every character through the entire game.
Jesus Christ.
So I heard double slash a lot. Oh my god, did I hear that a lot? Yeah, double slash and whip smack with Albert.
Yep.
I mean Levitus for shut up, Jose. It's a good game. Everyone should play it. I will. If you listen, here's my money back guarantee. If you buy a copy of Legend of Dragoon and you play through the entire game and you do not like it, you are free to throw the game in the trash and never talk to me again. That is my money back guarantee.
If someone buys a disc-based copy of this PS1 game in the year of our Lord 2020,
I have a confession to make.
Multiple copies.
I bought a copy of this game when I was like 14.
Same.
It must have been like 2004 or something like that. I found it used at EB Games before they had all got switched over to GameStop. I didn't barely crack like a couple hours in the first disc, and I was just like, I don't know. Just never really got around to playing more of it. I think I was like mad into some other. I don't know what I was playing at the time. Like Final Fantasy 12. Was that out yet? No.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 12 came out in 03.
I was gonna say that was really way later than Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, I know. It's not I didn't buy it when it was like new or anything. But I was just like, yeah, it was a used copy for like $5, and so I was like, if it's still kicking around here, It's not going to be my homework. Straight up, it's not going to be my homework to play that game. But I will take a picture of it to show Jose that I still have it. And if I don't have it, I won't do that.
All right. It's
fair enough.
It's funny that you actually brought up the reusable items before at one point too, because the first time I played through that game, I got into a lot of trouble. In the game, not in real, well, probably also in real life, but for unrelated reasons. But I got into a lot of trouble in the game because I got to the very end area, and a little bit prior to that point, and even in that last area, I kept using the smoke ball to run from all the battles. So,
you silly man.
To be fair, the battles in that game take fucking forever.
They do.
The battles
double
are
slash.
slow, and
Yeah, but double slash.
I was like, what, like probably like 15 or so, and I'm like, all right, like my attention span it's starting to go down. I need to get on. I think I was actually super wrapped up in the story, and that might have been why. But yeah, I did start going back to that game earlier this year, and I made it to like about halfway through disc 2. So I might actually pick that back up again and keep going because, you know, a little bit of flaws aside, but playing on emulator where I can fast forward through some of the things that maybe take a little bit too long mid battle or stuff like that. It's still a really good, solid game at its core. And it's a lot of ideas that I'm kind of sad that I haven't seen pop up anywhere else.
They came out with it on the PS3, the PSN store, for like $5.
Oh yeah.
And I was so excited that I bought 4 copies for my friends who have PS3s because I don't have a PS3. But I was just like, but you guys have PS3s, so I'm gonna buy you this game. And so I got it for them. Because I'm a crazy person. But if there's anyone out there that's listening to this and you're like, I want to play this game on disc, like I want to experience this, like whatever. I don't frown on emulators. I use emulators I have a friend who uses emulators, definitely not me.
Wink.
But anyways, but like if you want to play this game on disc, I will let you know if you have the greatest hits edition of Legend of Dragoon and you're playing on a PS2, you will throw that game out the fucking window. When you play on a PS2, for whatever reason, if you use your Dragoon abilities during a boss fight, after the fight, the game is just like stuck on a black screen. It soft locks. You'll hear music playing, you'll hear everything go up, but the game is just like, you can't continue. It can't, for whatever reason, the greatest hits edition on a PS2 does not work. This is not like me being a crazy person.
Shit.
This is logged in the Legend of Dragoon forums. Like, this is like common knowledge amongst us, like the 30 of us nerds that still play this game to this day. Yeah. So if you are playing on PS2, and you do have the greatest hits edition of the game, every boss you are not allowed to use your Dragoon form on. You are relegated to using it on the treants, and like the little goblins, and like that's it. Like no Dragoon forms on bosses, otherwise you can't beat the game.
That's fucked up.
That is not epic.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jarvis, did you call Legend of Dragoon fans Dragoons?
Yes.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That is so
Me
good.
on like Dragoon's Place, the LOD forum.
Yes.
Dragoons.
Oh my.
I love that.
I
I thought I barely heard that one squeak in, and I was like, hold on, that one can't be lost to time. I refuse to let that happen. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So we have two questions that I want to get in there, and then we can wrap this up. We're starting to get run a little long in the tooth here.
Yeah.
Morgan, do you want to ask your own question? I'm not going to ask your question for you.
Well, that was just a shitpost, but we can talk about it.
We can talk about it.
What is your favorite Abigail reset? I see your highlights. They make me happy.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. He has so many that suck ass.
They're bad, but they work.
Yeah, but they work. He has so many that like it's visually confusing, but he's actually like -3, so you can just press whatever the fuck you want. But everyone's just like, I don't know what to do, and then they get thrown. It's the best. Like a lot of his stuff, you can just walk backwards because they nerfed command grab range so bad that like, let's say you do double back heavy punch into V-trigger cancel, crouch medium punch into the Metro Crash, which will air reset after the crouch medium punch, and then when the Metro Crash hits, you'll be +2, and then you can go into command grab. You can just walk backwards. Any character in the game. Dhalsim, Bison, like any character in the game can just walk backwards, and it'll whiff.
Damn.
But everyone just like crouch blocks. They're just like, well, fuck, he's gonna hit me again. Like I better crouch block, and then I grab him, and then they get thrown. It's the best. But my favorite reset, I will say, is one that I can't believe they allowed to be in the game at all, and I think it's just because, for whatever reason, crouch light kick has a juggle point.
Oh, this
is
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, like it. I don't think it should be in the game. Hold on, I take that back. It absolutely should be in the game. I don't think it was meant to be in the game. So they adjusted the height at which his Abby Punch special lifts characters into the air, so that way he has worse Oki off of it. Actually, if they quick rise, or I don't know, some weird shit. It was meant to make it better. It made him worse. But with EX Abigail punches, they float so high that you can actually cancel the EX punches into Metro Crash and charge Metro Crash long enough to get the level 2 Metro Crash. There's 3 levels to Metro Crash. There's 1, which is a single hit. There's 2, which is a 5 hit. And then 3, which is an 8 hit and a guard break. Well, you can charge to level 2, and if you hit them at the right point as they're on their way down, the combo will continue, and you will recover in time to do crouch light kick, so it will air reset them, and before they realize what happened, you just throw their goofy little asses, and then they die, and it's the best. And the best part about it is, you'll see a lot of Abigails do this from the corner. So if they get like a meaty counter hit, stand medium punch, they'll do another stand medium punch into EX Abigail punches and then do it. But from an area that like I'm going to call the red zone, to go back to football terminologies, like just past the center line of the stage, like the exact middle of the stage, but nowhere near the corner, you can do this shit. You can just confirm into EX punches, and then Metro Crash carries you so far that from like a half a stage away, you will get this reset into the corner, and then they just die, and it's the best. It is amazing. You just get to watch a life bar deplete. You get to see the life vanish from their eyes.
Melt. Especially
Especially if it's a Seth or a Kuma, and their fucking life bar just goes away, and the children come out of their house and they sing choir songs for defeating the evil that is the fucking characters.
Is it like
it's the best.
And how the Grinch Stole Christmas, when Christmas comes back, and they'll come out and they're singing their little fucking, like, their little Who song.
But it's Abigail, and he's holding hands with the tiny Who's.
Yeah.
It is exactly like that. And, like, my heart grows 3 times every single time that I do that reset, and at this point I have to see a doctor about it because I think I'm going to die. Because it's the best. I love it so much. It's so good. It's so good. Anyways, yeah, that's my favorite reset. If I can find video of it, I will link it to everyone that's not Morgan, because she's seen all my idiot setups all the time that work for no reason.
When we post when we post the podcast on Twitter, just reply to the podcast. Reply to the tweet with it.
I definitely want that in there.
I will absolutely do that. I will make a thread of them. Like just all the different ways that you can go into it. I mean, it all ends with EX Abigail punches into whatever, but the ranges at which you can confirm into that fucking thing. Yeah, exactly. Like Jarv's doing like the Abigail punches in real life, which he can do now because he's swole as fuck and super handsome.
That's the important part. You have to be super handsome to do it, and that's like,
oh yeah. If
you're one without the other, it means nothing.
Yeah. If you're buff as fuck but you're ugly as shit, you can't do the punches in real life. But Jarv just happens to be handsome and buff as fuck, so like he gets to do it and not look silly. It's the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, no problem. Look, we're all good looking people here. It's totally fine. Not
agree.
like that asshole Jay that can't play Legend of Dragoon.
It's never gonna end.
Sorry, I have a huge spike line for that one.
Never.
Jay, if you make it this far, you himbo son of a bitch. I love you so much. You get so much praise heaped on you. I just have to be rude every now and then to bring you back down to earth. Everyone loves you so much. You're so like you're a good looking guy. You're super charismatic. People are attracted to you, but the fact that you don't like Legendary Dragoon makes me want to hurt you. But I love you, but I really want to hurt you.
Okay, moving on.
I'm like Wednesday Addams in this motherfucker. I love you so much. I want to shoot you with a crossbow.
Oh my god.
Who boy?
Yeah.
All right, last question.
We got one last question.
Hi, guys.
to close it out. Your name, you go by SrirachaFlash. I have to ask you. This one comes in from Jocks in a Box. Your top 3 favorite things to put sriracha
on? Pizza, sushi, and my penis.
Sushi?
In that order. No, so...
Pizza, I was like, yeah, done that. Sushi,
Done.
No.
No, that's just my go-to answer, because I've actually had this question come up quite a bit. They're like... And I understand it, sriracha is, it's part of my name. It's not copyrighted, which means I'm probably going to trademark it one day, and it's going to be really funny when they're like, why does this guy in Michigan own the trademark to sriracha? I'll be like, because Hoi Fong Food said that they don't want to trademark it, and that's their own fucking fault.
Suckers.
But that's 100% real, by the way. They don't have a trademark or a copyright on the name sriracha, which is why you see so many like sriracha things, because there's just, you can fucking say whatever, and they don't care. They're just like, whatever, like, the brand doesn't mean anything. Like, we don't care. So I'm gonna fucking trademark the shit out of SrirachaFlash, and it's gonna be.
We gotta keep this in mind for future YASE merchandise potential.
Yeah, YASEcast.
No
I'm so excited.
Yo, YASEcast.
We in that.
Yeah, we're stealing it.
It's way better than YASE cock sauce.
Yes. Well, listen, but God, we'll workshop it. But my 3 favorite things to put sriracha on. Pizza, definitely up there. Pizza is like an awesome one.
Yeah.
It blends very well with a bunch of different flavors. Works awesome. Chili is another one.
Oh yeah.
I will fucking squirt half a bottle of sriracha into
Jesus.
a pot of chili, and that's what makes it so good. Like, no joke. I like my chili super thick. And so I will use tomato paste and like a big can of Mexican piss, like Corona or Modelo in there. Yeah. And then like to give it a little bit more acidity, I'll just like squirt half a bottle of sriracha in there, and it's so good. So like, yeah, chili, pizza, and then probably omelets.
Yes. Good with eggs.
Good with eggs.
Super good with eggs. Yeah, super good with eggs. I think that's probably like the most optimal way to go. I would say wings, but like, I mix it with a stick of butter and then like some Chipotle hot sauce and a little bit of brown sugar.
Yeah, it's not just sriracha that's going on it. Yeah.
It's not the essentials of sriracha. So yeah, I think those 3, like pizza, and chili and eggs, is like the way to go. And then if you want to get real crazy with it, you go down to Walmart, you get yourself 2 Monterey frozen like chimichangas, and then you microwave those, and you open them up, you put a little bit of sriracha in there, and then you eat. That's the best. That is some comfort food right there. That will make your heart feel
there
good.
is definitely something to be said about just finding like about eating the shittiest food just as an excuse to put hot sauce on something. Because I have absolutely done that with like, hey, I'm going to get some like $2 frozen pizzas just because, not because I want these pizzas or I think they're good. I just want something crunchy, and I just want to put like a bunch of hot sauce on it. And that's why I got these fucking things.
All the time. That's like me with Miracle Whip. I'm like, what can I put Miracle Whip on that like qualifies it as a sandwich? Listen, Miracle Whip's fucking good, but I'll be like,
all right, y'all. Thanks so much for joining in.
No, I won't be fucking silent. Look,
Yo, Ryu is a Miracle Whip of Street Fighter, so shut your damn mouth.
No, listen. You put Miracle Whip on a nice hamburger bun with a frozen chicken patty and some American cheese and some hot sauce. You're living the fucking life.
Hold up.
You throw out.
Hold up. Are you eating a frozen chicken patty?
Well, all right. You gotta microwave it. Come on. You gotta microwave it a little bit.
You
Smart ass over
a
here.
frozen chicken patty on there.
Yeah, no.
I break my teeth on the chicken patty. I'm living the life.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, well, you don't want you want a nice frozen core, but you want the outsides to be nice and molten. So, like, that's how you make it. You frozen center, nice, hot, crispy outsides. That's the way to go. That's how you eat your frozen chicken patties. You throw on an episode of Friends, you have yourself a Dr. Pepper cream soda, and you do a podcast with your friends of YASE.
There you go.
That's how you spend your nights, ladies and gentlemen.
That's friendship is the most gourmet ingredient possible.
Agreed.
It really is.
There we go.
It really
There we
is.
go. Bringing
That
it back
was nice,
to warm
Lamo.
fuzzies. But that is all the time we do have for this week, though. I want to thank everybody for joining in on this YASEcast episode number 29. Thank you to SrirachaFlash, Jose, for joining us this week. Thank you to Jarv and Morgan for joining us this week as well. Thank you to you, the listeners, for listening through this episode. We hope you had a good time. I know we all did. Jose, where can the people find you?
You can find me on twitter.com/SrirachaFlash. You can, hold on, I actually forgot where all my things are. Just go to fucking SrirachaFlash.com. You'll find all the previous episodes of Some Random that I've done. And then, like, hopefully Some Random is coming back soon, except for, like, the pandemic hit, and then I got depressed, and I was just like, I don't want to fucking do the fighting game show anymore. Like, the fighting game is the least important thing right now. So, like, but Some Random will come back eventually.
Shit, my man's got a URL.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, SrirachaFlash.com. You can find all the episodes, including Jarv and Morgan. We're on the show.
Yay.
And Lamo will eventually be on the show.
I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to sound like bitter or anything. It's like,
No, listen,
I wasn't. You
I
can
only
have
had
me on
5
your
days,
show, but I
motherfucker.
invited you on to here. No.
Oh, it's your show.
I only had 5 days.
okay,
I'm so sorry.
okay.
YASE week.
It's all good.
YASE week was 5 days. 5 days, but I had 6 guests, motherfucker. One of them wasn't you. But anyway, so SrirachaFlash.com. This is where you're gonna find all that fun stuff. Twitter.com/SrirachaFlash, Facebook.com/SrirachaFlash, xvideos.com/SrirachaFlash. And yeah, that's where you can find me. All that fun stuff. Oh, and RedTube.com/SrirachaFlash.
All right. Alrighty, that's enough out of you.
Also find me on Twitter.com/LameOSD. All my good tweets are there.
There's an
you can also
underscore,
find
but
me.
yeah.
That's what I said. Find me on Twitch.tv/Daigo the Beast. All my gameplay videos are there.
Cheesy reviews.
All that fun stuff.
Jarv, where can the people find you?
Y'all can find me on Twitter at JarvDog, DAWG, and apparently you can also find me at SrirachaFlash.com because I was on an episode of Some Random. Y'all should listen to that one, but not listen to Lamos.
Absolutely.
Morg, where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can find. Also find me on SrirachaFlash.com apparently.
Yeah!
You can also find me on the Hell site at Organization 13. You can find me streaming on Twitch at fog_e, but there may be there is something in the oven that is cooking, and there may be some more new URLs at some point.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
That'll be a good
Please
bake.
don't look forward to
That'll
that.
be a
It's
good
gonna
bake.
be bad.
That'll be a good bake. And you can find me, Lamo, on Twitter.com/Lamo_SD. You can find me on SrirachaFlash.gov.
Yes!
Go there for all my opinions and arts. Thank you again
And arts.
for listening. We'll be back at you again next week. Stay strong, stay beautiful, stay all of the above.